Hey y'all, and welcome to Off the Rails Politics. My name is Brian, and Vivek Ramaswamy can prove here that he can talk himself into and out of any situation.
What is your stance on LGBTQ?
Good. Thank you for your question. I'm going to answer it. I'm going to go into a level of depth that I don't usually go into on a campaign trail, but I'm going to do it because you asked the question. You deserve an answer. LGBTQIA, there's so many letters, they've just added a plus at the end. That's where we are now. What's going on? So the same movement, because if we're going to call that one thing, let's play it fair. The same movement that said that the sex of the person you're attracted to is hardwired on the day you're born. That was the premise of the gay rights movement, for it to count as a civil right. That movement is now saying that your own biological sex is totally fluid over the course of your life. And so I promised you will have a chance to respond. I'm going to keep my promise. You tell me. This is good. We don't do this enough in our country anymore. Open conversation. Tell me.
I was a child when I knew that I was gay. Not the fact that I wanted to change my gender, but living here in this town, I knew that I was a lesbian, that I was attracted to females.
And you know what's
But I had to hide it.
And when did you grow? When was that? In the 90s?
Oh, no. Let's see. I came out when I was 19, so I was born in 1983.
So I think where we are now, we're in the similar generation. I think things today aren't what they were. I grew up in Ohio in the 1990s, and we're in a different place today. And I think this could be a very productive conversation. I don't get to do this in the campaign trail often, where we all are in our own echo chambers and silos. So it's good for us to talk to each other. I like that. And so the way I view this is, you are free to live your life the way you wish to, as long as you don't hurt anybody else in return. And I'm free to do the same thing too. But that doesn't mean we change the way men and women compete in sports. That doesn't mean we change the way men and women. I don't think that just because you identify as a man doesn't mean that you're entitled to a trophy. You agree? Do you agree with me on that?
That's different.
You agree with me on that?
I get you. I get you.
You agree with me on that? All
I
right.
get you. That's different.
Because men shouldn't be swimming with women in women's sports competitions. Thank you. I appreciate that.
That's different.
That's what I'm talking about,
100%,
right?
that's
And so that's what I'm saying is it's not all the same thing, right?
What did I tell you, folks? The man can talk himself into and out of any situation he gets into. Why? Because he actually acknowledges that the other person has a right to exist. That's what a lot of these people really want. They want the affirmation because they feel just so strongly that they are a certain way that's not typical, that's not normal, that's not at the top of the hierarchy. Because we need to talk about our values in the sense of what is best, all right? Is it living your truth or trying to raise a family? Now, you can live in a world, and Vivek does outline this, that on one hand, we need our values up here as high and as true as they can possibly get, but it is okay if not everything's at the ideal. That's the line that we have to figure out in our society. And he outlined some of those lines for the transgender community. And it's simply this: it is okay to acknowledge you have a mental disorder, but the line is, we don't keep people from trying to live the way they want to live. Then we need to protect women's sports because of puberty and the natural enhancements of our bodies. That is an okay thing to defend. And Vivek is affirming a lot of her worries and her fears, alleviating a lot of her worries and her fears. And he's affirming her right to exist, her right to speak out, and at the very end, what happens? Fist bump and a high five, because they agree on the fundamental problems. And that's why there's such a weird, something that doesn't even make any sense to me of the right and left dichotomy anymore. It used to be the right wing was, no, we have to keep marriage sacred, we have to keep this one thing at the pinnacle. And then they didn't do anything to keep it up there. And instead, the new right is saying, the left wing criticism might have a point. So, what do? Let's build a framework and add them to this network. And now the right's saying, this is a good thing, let's stop here. And that's where my line is, folks. But I want to know your line before everything you know goes off the rails. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed the segment here on Off the Rails Politics. Catch you on the next one. And until then, y'all have a good one.